Hello, everyone. This is Elizabeth with Scott Leroy Marketing, and welcome to Lead Generating with Command, Facebook Ads 101. Today is May 24th, 2021. So if you're viewing the recording, some of the features may not be the same. So feel free to contact us. Today, I am starting out in Mozilla Firefox, but you can also be using Google Chrome. And we're going to start at command. So agent.kw.com. That's the website for command, agent.kw.com. And then we're going to sign in with our username. Generally, it's something like first initial, last name, maybe have a number. Capitalization does not matter. And then enter our password. Of course, capitalization does count here. And then click sign in. First things first, let's head over to the settings. We're going to click our name in the top right corner to drop down that menu. And then click settings. We're just going to make sure everything's up and running properly before we begin. Now, I will say connecting Facebook to Command is completely optional. You do not have to connect Facebook to Command. But we do suggest it mainly because Keller Williams does have that partnership with Facebook, and it makes the sponsored ads a little bit more cost effective. It furthers the reach. You get a little bit better price on it. And of course, you have the name of Keller Williams behind you as well. I'm going to go ahead and click this accept cookies in the bottom right corner to get rid of that banner. That's just common practice for me. Okay, so you'll see here, we're defaulted to the applications page. You can also see this by dropping the command settings menu down on the left-hand side and clicking applications. And you'll see up here at the top are my connected apps. Now your screen may look different because you may not already have Facebook connected. So simply you'll just find these two icons, the Facebook logos. One is Facebook Post Scheduling, and the other is Facebook Ads Manager. So Facebook Post Scheduling, just to touch on this, we're not going to go into it today, but the Facebook Post Scheduling is to post to your business page. This cannot post to your private profile, like you as a person. This is free. There's no additional cost to post to your page. And you can schedule out that post for a future date. Versus what we are going to be working on today is Facebook Ads Manager. Facebook Ads Manager is to create a sponsored ad, which looks like this. You'll see the title of the page, sponsored, the little main copy or little message here, image. It's going to the website, and I'll go over all of these separate little fields later. And then the call to action button. So you'll see this in your private profile, your personal profile, like you as a person, just in your timeline. No, I'm sorry, in your newsfeed. I always get the words newsfeed and timeline confused. This is in your newsfeed. So if you're on your homepage, where you'll see updates from your friends, family, everyone you're connected with. So these sponsored ads will not show up on your page's timeline, but others' news feeds. You must be an admin for your business page. They will cost money, which I'll talk a little bit more about later. And they publish immediately. There's no way to schedule these out, unlike Facebook post scheduling. And yes, to answer your comment, it will only allow your business Facebook, your business page. So as you see here, mine does say connected, but if yours says not connected as the current status, then you can click the connect account over on the right-hand side, enter in your email address or phone number, whatever you use to log into Facebook, and your password. Take heed that that window is a pop-up window. It will come up in a separate window. So if you are not seeing it immediately, you want to make sure you allow pop-ups, or you may even want to minimize this window because it may have popped up behind. Once you are connected and you see this connect more button, this just simply allows you to connect another Facebook account. And then once you are connected, you will always see your name, like what's on your Facebook profile. You won't see the name of your page here. So just know that once it is connected and you see how Facebook knows you as here, that is correct. That means it is connected properly. Once you are connected, your screen may still not look exactly like mine. Facebook Ads Manager sometimes does not pop up all the way to the top, like you see mine in the first screen of this without scrolling. But as long as the status says connected, you're good. Now, through these applications, you cannot connect to Instagram at this time, but if you go into your Facebook settings and connect to Instagram, then you'll see that as an option to connect to later, and I'll show you where that is. Only personal accounts can be connected to command. So as long as your business page is created and an admin of your personal account, so let me say that again. As long as your business page is created by your personal account and you are the admin of it, then it'll be connected, it'll be able to be connected to command. Gail, if you're still having sound problems, you may try also the call-in number. I'll paste it here in the chat. That way you can use your phone's volume buttons a little bit easier. All right, so once we have our Facebook connected specifically for the Ads Manager, we're gonna go over to campaigns. So that'll be in the left-hand menu, all of the list of icons. While you're still learning command, you can click the red square with the white KW to expand the name of the applets. And if you're not seeing this full list, you may have to zoom out. You can zoom out by clicking the hamburger menu, the 3 lines in the top right corner of the screen. or 3 dots if you're in Google Chrome. And then you'll see one of the first options is zoom, and you can use the plus and minus to zoom in and out. So again, let's head to campaigns. It's the little megaphone icon. Here's the dashboard. You can also connect more accounts here. You can see your connected channels here. You should not create an entirely separate business account. You should create a business page off of your personal, because Facebook only recognizes you as a person. And since you are one person, you can have one Facebook account. And then like branched off of that, you can have, I mean, umpteen million different business pages. Like in our instance, it's real estate, obviously. But you can also have like one for Scentsy, one for Jamberry, one for your lawn mowing, one for your leaf removal, so you can have different business pages branched off your one personal account. You'll also see your connected accounts here, and you can tab between paid ads, which again is what we're working on today, and social posts, which is not what we're working on today, but also uses that Facebook connection. You can see some quick posts and tips and training. Next tab is the paid ads. This is what we are going to be working in today, so I'll come back to this tab. I just want to quickly go over the rest of the page here. Next tab is emails. If you would like to send a mass email to your database. You'll also see the direct mail tab for postcards, for example. And then the social posts tab. So again, this is how you can create a post to your business page in the future. I mean, you can also post immediately, but mainly for future casting. And then over here to the right, under your name, you'll see payments. Let's click payments because we do want to add a payment method first. So you'll see all of your cards that you'll have on file, remaining credits if you have any, your ad spend metrics, broken down between each channel. You can export these as a CSV, which I absolutely love. CSV stands for comma separated values. It's a type of Excel format. So Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets. If you have not added a payment, you would simply click Add Payment Method here on the left. It'll pop up a box, a window, and you'll enter all of the red asterisk required fields. A card like a credit or debit card. And if you haven't added a payment method recently, you'll see that the billing address has been updated to add the address, city, state, zip, country. So you'll want to enter all of these fields and then click Add Card. Again, that's kind of the unofficial second step of creating a Facebook ad. The first being making sure your settings are good to go. And then the last button on the page is Create Campaign. So let's click that to start our campaign. In this class, we're going to be doing a social ad. I don't believe you are able to edit your payment information. So you would just want to click that add payment method and re-enter all of that, all of those fields. First things first, let's enter a campaign name. Now this name is only visible by you, so you can name it whatever you would like, and this can be edited later. Then you'll click your goal. Now, this does, I've heard, it does helps Keller Williams kind of have different reports, different metrics on who's using this for what type of goal. And today, unlike my past classes, I'm going to do brand awareness because typically, if this is your first campaign, you don't have any listings yet, or more than one listing, like Advertise multiple listings is. You may not even necessarily have buyers to attract listings to. You may not be an office to attract talent. So we're going to use brand awareness. Now, if you accidentally click one and it's not the correct one, we can change it later. And when in doubt, use other. No big deal at all. Quick note, this advertise multiple listings, you must have at least 3 listings for this goal. So we're going to be in brand awareness today. And then final step is, where will your campaign run? Again, this is simply Facebook Ads 101. So I'm going to check Facebook. But here is where you will see that Instagram connection. So my Instagram is connected to my Facebook through Facebook. So I'll see it here. You can also check Twitter. I don't have an ads manager Twitter account, so I'm not going to be checking that today. But if you do need any help with Twitter, contact us and we'll be happy to help. To simply answer your question of, can you advertise just one listing and have agent contact info in every ad? Yes. I'll show you once we get into the campaign a little bit more where that contact info will be shown, because it's not like on the very front of the ad like this. But of course, you can have it branded to you on every ad. So now that we have our 3 fields selected, click Create Campaign. And I'm going to let my Market Center logo preview and crop automatically for me. If this screen takes you forever, you can always refresh, which that's exactly what I'm going to do. So let me try this again. There we go. So it'll go away on its own, ideally. All right, so in this class, I will be going through a tour of this page, but when in doubt, you can always use this guided tour. It's going to be purple and it's going to pop up little speech bubbles to walk you through it. And this is becoming more and more common throughout Command. So if you ever see this guided tour, check it out for sure. It has a lot of great info. But I'll just be going over all of that info with you today. All right, so this very first step here, name and goal, you can drop that down. Here is where you can change your campaign name and goal if you wish, and click Save if you made any changes. This next section is the listing. So if you had one of the listing goals, you could add a listing here and it'll pop out KWLS 2.0 from the right-hand side. You can search by your property address here. You can show all listings to search for that. For more details on a listing campaign, check out our previously recorded classes for step-by-step instructions on how to do those, because today I'll just be doing the brand awareness type of campaign. How much per ad on Facebook business page? You can set how much you would like to spend. I'll be going over that in the duration and budget step a little bit later. Third section is add text. Click configure to open up that step. And the main copy here, this is where you'll want to enter the wording that you would like. You can use emojis. Keller Williams does recommend 125 characters or less, but the maximum is 250. So add your main copy here. Of course, you can add emojis using the little emoji in the bottom right corner of that field. And you'll see once I type it out here on the left, it'll populate here on the right in my preview. Now, the reason you don't want to go too long, and you'll see I'm at my 250 character limit here. So there we go. Okay, so we're going to look at our preview on the right, and you'll see all of my text shows here when we have the Facebook preview web feed selected, which is default. So that means anyone seeing this ad online, like on a desktop computer, will see the full message. But most of us in this class and like as a consumer view Facebook on their smartphone. So Apple or Android, iPhone or Android. So we want to, and I always suggest, toggle over to the Facebook preview mobile so that you see how this is going to look on a smartphone, a smaller screen. You can find the recorded trainings on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Scott Leroy Marketing. And I'm sorry, Marilette, can I show what again? So you want to make sure that your text here in main copy is showing properly here in the Facebook preview mobile. Again, I always suggest toggling to the mobile version so that you know. So let's pretend this is too long and you see the little ellipses at the end. Most people are not going to click the see more. So you want to shorten it so that that ellipses, the 3 little dots, goes away. So let's say it should only be about that long, which is why Keller Williams recommends 125 characters or less, because it doesn't have that ellipses there. Yeah, if you wanted for your brand to show along with the Keller Williams logo, it's definitely possible. So next field is the headline. If you don't have any ideas, like this example one that's kind of grayed out here, of that light gray color, you can shuffle the suggestions. And it looks like it may not be working because I'm in Firefox, but you should be able to shuffle through all of the suggestions that they have. And then once you select that suggestion, you can click Use. And it'll apply that suggestion there. If it's not working for you in Chrome either, we may have to reach out to KW support to let them know. But yeah, that seems to be a recent discovery. But of course, you don't have to use the suggestions here. You can type in whatever you would like. Also paying attention to the fine print, headlines over 40 characters may be cut off. So again, kind of like the 125 verse 250 here, it's 40 suggested, but max 100 here. It depends on their smartphone. It depends on, how big their screen is. Next field is description. So here is where we can type in our description. Just for ease and quickness, I'm going to use the same thing here in the description. And you'll see once I type that on the left, it'll appear on the right. And this description is going to be right underneath the headline and the call to action button. Now, this will only be shown in some placements, which means it won't be shown 100% in every news feed online, on desktop and smartphone. It'll kind of be, it depends on the screen, really. Yes, all of the fields that are marked with that red asterisk are required. Max character limit is 250. And you can also use emojis in this field as well. You would put something, you would make your text something different between main copy and description just for this class. And so you don't hear me typing, I'm just copying and pasting. So really I can do this here too. Some more fine print. Text cannot contain misleading content, content that implies personal attributes, adult or political content. For more details on each of those, you can click these blue words and it'll take you to the Facebook support article so that you can read through those. Once you're done with this section, you would click Save Add Text. Next section is Add Media. A few primary differences from the social ads. This is a social ad. So for this section, Add Media, you'll click Configure to drop that down. And here is where you can select the media. So you can either choose between images or a video. The video must be shorter than 10 minutes to be uploaded, but we suggest less than 1 minute, more like 30 seconds or so. There are not ads where you can exceed the 250 character limit at this time. I do suggest putting that on ideas.kw.com so that Keller Williams is aware that you want that, but it may be a Facebook requirement as well. So again, if you want to add a video here, our suggestion is like a 30-second video, real quick. We want to just catch their eye. We don't want to have them sit on this ad, just on the first view of it. Or, of course, you can choose an image. So let's click Select Media for this campaign, and you'll see this pop-up box. You can either choose from a listing, if you were doing the attract a listing, or I'm sorry, advertise listing. You can click Add Images, where you can choose from designs or upload an image. And then, of course, here's the Add a Video. You can do a neighborhood video, choose from designs, which also pulls the neighborhood videos. You can upload a video that you have already saved to your computer or embed a linked video. And here's that reminder, videos must be shorter than 10 minutes and smaller than 250 megabytes in formats MP4 and M4V. Check out this best practices for videos as well. See, the Keller Williams recommended length is 15 seconds or less, and then the different aspect ratios for the size of the video. And then, of course, don't forget to include captions. So for most of us, we're going to be sticking with the Add Images tab. Again, you can either choose from designs or upload an image. And I'm going to stick with choose from designs. And then you can browse design library for unique designs. So I'm going to browse design library. And here is where I'll see all of the designs that I have already created. So check out our Designs 101 class on how to create these designs. So I have previously already created a design for my ad here. So I'm going to click that, and that's going to apply it here. Few reminders, high-res images, which are greater than 600 pixels, work best for social posts and ads. They must be in the JPEG or PNG format, max size 3 megabytes. And then Facebook does not like pictures with text. If the text is greater than 20% of the picture, then they'll deny it. So just keep that in mind. Best practices for images. Here is the Facebook Ads Text Overlay Checker. Fantastic tool. This tool tells you how much text is in your image before you finalize everything. So highly suggest using this. Again, this is in the Add Media section, Images, Add Images, and over here off to the middle right-ish to determine how much text is in your ad. And then we'll select that. One image is selected, and then we'll preview and crop. So the design that I made is a horizontally wide ad or design. So I'm going to change this drop down to wide. Then click Save Image. You can also change the tilt on it change the cropping, change the tilt, change the size, undo, or I'm sorry, rotate left, rotate right, reset. So a few different options along here. Once you're happy, click Save Image, and you'll see it populate here, and then populate here as well in our preview. Again, for more details on how to create those, because I already had it created, check out our Designs 101 class for the step-by-step instructions on how to create those designs. And then there's some good text to use. Back up and add text. You know, something like that. All right, so back in the Add Media section, the second half of it, you're going to see Dba Logo. If you do not already have your Market Center logo, which remember at the very beginning, that's what it was trying to preview and crop for me, because I already have it in my marketing profile in my settings in Command. But if you do not, click here to find your Market Center's Dba logo. This is going to take you to KW Connect, Marketing tab, Logos and Branding to find that logo for you. If you already have it on your design, like I do here, you can also remove it. And you'll see it removes it from the preview. If you want to leave it, you can toggle between the Dba logo position, left or right. I always suggest left just because it's kind of squared up on the left versus not on the right. I think it looks better. And then save Add Media. For any sort of broker requirement, like the ownership statement, for example, that each office is independently owned and operated, check with your broker. Every state, every board is different, so we're not able to consult on those, but your broker would definitely be the expert on that. Yeah, you can remove the Dba logo within the Add Media section, and you'll see this kind of dashed square. If you have your logo here on the left-hand side, you'll see an X on the right-hand side. I have already removed my logo, so I don't see the X here, but it's going to be right here in the center of the page. And yes, this is also where you can add your brand logo, whether that's your team or just your individual solo brand logo. Especially because I have my Market Center logo on the design. Again, for any sort of requirements, check with your broker. They'll be the expert on that. So once we're done with this section, we're going to click Save Add Media. And next, we're going to click the Facebook Ad section. Click Configure. Okay, so here's where we see most of the errors. So I'm going to go over as best I can, but if you have any further questions, if you need one-on-one help, just reach out to us and we'll definitely be able to help you out. So Facebook ad section, we clicked configure to drop this down. Step 1 is pages. Select which pages will display your ad on each platform. So I checked Facebook originally, I did not check any additional, for example, Instagram or Twitter. If you did, they will be shown here, but I'm only showing my Facebook because I only have my Facebook connected. So I would select the account, me as a person, Facebook, and then select the page because my personal Facebook account I created and own and manage and an admin of, ugh, that was a tongue twister, my real estate business page. So I'm able to see it here. So I'm going to drop down and click to select and see how it's spinning here. Give it a second and then it'll populate. And then you'll also see the preview changes to update with your page name. Now, common error here, you may have to disconnect and reconnect your Facebook account. It's called resetting the API. So you'll want to disconnect your Facebook from command, go to your Facebook and remove the Keller Williams connection in your settings, then come back to command and reconnect. Again, if you have any trouble with that or would like for us to take care of that for you, reach out to us, connect with us, and we'd be happy to help. Selecting your page here, yes, you would have to do that every time, but the reconnecting, you do not have to do unless you get that error. Another error that can be seen at this step is making sure you accept the terms and conditions. So this step number 2, destination, set a destination for people viewing your ad. We recommend using the Facebook lead gen form. Scott Leroy Marketing also suggests using the Facebook lead gen form, but sometimes after you click your account and you click your page and you try and click use Facebook lead generation form, it doesn't work. It gives you an error. In that case, again, you want to check for your pop-ups. Generally, they're going to be found up here top right. You may also have to minimize your page in case they pop up behind. But you should see a pop-up of Facebook's terms and conditions that you'll want to accept or approve. And that one is a one-time deal, which is why, unfortunately, I can't show you what that is because I have already done that. But again, if you have any troubles at this step with accepting the terms, let us know. So again, we highly suggest the Facebook lead generation form. This is mainly because it does auto-populate the consumer's information from their Facebook account. It'll pull their first name, last name, email address, and phone number. Unfortunately, you are not able to change that information that it collects. It will only ever collect those 4 pieces. And when it does, that'll pull that information over to your contacts applet and display it with the lead icon, the little L next to their name. You will not be charged if this doesn't work and it throws you an error, because we haven't gone through and like published it yet. You'll see publish is actually grayed out because we haven't completed all the required fields. So if you are getting an error, it won't let you publish. The 4 items that Facebook collects or command collects from Facebook are the first name, last name, email address, and phone number. Now, if you don't want to use the Facebook lead generation form, no worries. You can use a separate site or landing page. Just know that the information collected on these sites or landing pages will not auto-populate within your contacts in command. And I'll say that again. You do not have to use the Facebook lead generation form by any means. We just highly recommend it. If you use the site or landing page to collect either more or less information or different information other than the first, last, email, phone, then those contacts, that information collected, will not auto-populate to your contacts in command. Main reason why we suggest this form. I don't have a preview of that Facebook lead gen form. That is a great idea though. But let's see if this works. Yep. Keller Williams didn't, well, I should say redstore.com didn't use that. But yep, it just takes you straight to their website. But when you click on a sponsored ad, you may see a quick glimpse of one. It depends on if you already have that information filled in on your Facebook account to if it's collected or not. It may just be a quick glimpse, or it may stay up for a minute so you can fill in that information. Next field, button call to action label. You'll see the three choices here. And that's what this button can have on it. And then that button, as you saw me just click on that sponsored ad for redstore.com, here is where you'll enter your follow-up destination URL. So we highly suggest using your Keller Williams hosted by command website. Mine matches my email, but it can be whatever you set it up as. Check out our website 101 classes for how to update that. We also have a few quick little tip videos on where to find that, how to update that. But you want to make sure this follow-up destination URL turns green. You can also choose a landing page. I mean, that'll be branded to you as well. But this is how you can get your agent branding on all of your ads, is this follow-up destination URL or landing page here. And this is where, like we just saw in that sponsored ad that I clicked, where they will be directed after they click that learn more, after they submit the Facebook lead form or landing page, of course. Step 3, ad targeting. Your audience is set automatically. This is the location of my office. And then by default, it's 20-mile radius. We suggest using custom settings. You would just simply toggle this on or green to get those to drop down and display immediately. Now, brand awareness is probably one, if not the only goal that I would suggest you can target just your database. So if you have the Facebook profiles connected in your database and like your friends, you can check this box. But for basically every other goal, especially like attract listings, attract buyers, advertise listing, you'll want to do a custom audience. Location, United States, you can delete, you can change. City, state, you can delete, you can change. Radius in miles, the minimum is 15, but you can go as much as you would like. And then expert targeting, which is optional, but if you were to use it, you would just add interests here by clicking add interests. That'll pop up a box where you'll begin typing in some interests. So ones that we suggest, and I'll type them in the chat. We do suggest about 10 or so, but people look for home or homes, real estate, luxury, even the websites, homes.com, realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, maybe first time home buyer or house hunting, mortgage calculator. So lots of different options there. Farm, ranch, land, lot, just different variations of the different words. So try some of those out for different interests. For example, I'm starting to type in first time home buyer. Not all one word, they're separate interests. So like starting with the first one in my list is homes. So you would select home and then you'll see one selected and then real estate. Let's do real estate investing, 2 selected, so on and so forth. I'm interested in land, estate, land, lot. If they're interested in landscaping, So I have 5 selected. Once you have all of the ones you selected, you would click save. So selecting those 5, this ad will go to people who have home or real estate investing or land or estate land or land lot. So if they have one of those, it'll go to them. And interests are found when the person first sets up their Facebook. They can add interests to like their public profile. So that's why you want to add as many as possible. So this is kind of like the or function, especially if you haven't created a Facebook ad recently. Within the last few months, this has changed. You used to select these as the or functions. Selecting the city here is the target, and then the radius 15 miles is from like that city center out and around. If the person has home as their interest on their Facebook page, then this ad that we're creating will be seen by them. I don't think you can expand the radius enough to include an entire state, and you are not able to create an ad for more than one location at a time. The recording will be on our YouTube channel first, and then it'll go to our website, which is youtube.com/ScottLeroy Marketing. So just as this is the or function, narrow audience is the and function. So if you wanted to narrow the audience even further, which I don't always suggest doing, because for example, let's just choose apartments.com. But we could have also chosen, commercial or what have you, and save. Oh, it's going a little slow for me. I'm too fast for it. So you'll also see this estimated audience number counter on the right here. That's globally. So there's about 6 million with the apartments.com interest on their Facebook account. And this isn't going to function how I want it to right now because It's nervous. There we go. You can be reminded that this is the and function because it'll read it like a sentence. So include people who match home, so have home as an interest, and must also match agriculture. So that's how this field narrows it down, because that's what is compounding. They must have real estate investing and agriculture for this ad to be shown on their newsfeed. They must have land and agriculture. So sometimes it does work. Most times it does not. So if you accidentally add or narrow here, then you can simply click the X to remove that. Of course, fine print. For more information on Facebook ad review process and policies, click here. This takes you to Facebook. Great reading. Long reading, but great reading. Correct. The interest must show up in that list to apply it to the ad. Again, these custom settings are optional. So you can toggle them off as well and just use the simple city mileage radius. Once you're done with this section, click Save Facebook Ad to collapse that section. You can contact me by emailing us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. Next section is duration and budget. Let's drop that down to finish our ad. Targeting sellers, suggestions to gain listings. Let's see, maybe like empty nester, you know, school age kids versus college aged kids. You know, think about what interests, you know, you can even do like golfing. If anyone is interested in golf, they may want to move to a golf course, or pools even. And then you can kind of get the upgrades to sell their current home and buy an upgraded home. So for this duration and budget section, Keller Williams recommends a 10-day campaign and a budget of $1 per channel per day. We also suggest that $1 per channel per day, at least 7 days. It must start at least on the next day. So you will see that's chosen here. And then you can click anywhere in outside of the calendar to apply that date. And then you would choose the end date here. And once you select that, you'll see the duration updates for you. It's grayed out so that you cannot update it, but it updates by the calendar feature. And then here, the total campaign budget is what you will tell it how much it costs. So it doesn't tell you how much you want to spend, you tell it how much you want to spend. Now you'll see I only have one line here. That's because I only have one channel connected, the Facebook option. But if you have Instagram or Twitter, you'll see multiple lines here. So if I want to spend $30 over 11 days over one channel is $2.73 per day. So the minimum, of course, this changes because it depends on your duration, because the minimum is $1 per day. So you can see I can click the minus sign to go down to 11 because I have 11 days and that's $1 a day. Once you're happy with all of these metrics here, click Save Duration and Budget. Now, first, you want to make sure all of these check marks are green. If they're not, go back to that section and enter all of the required fields. Second, I highly recommend reviewing all of this information. Maybe even clicking Save as Draft and coming back to it the next day with fresh eyes. Because once this is published, you cannot edit it. Again, once this is published, you cannot edit it. Now, that is unlike Facebook where you can edit it. The best solution, if you do need to do that, is to simply pause the campaign, make a duplicate of it, change the error, and then run that new campaign. If you do choose to do that and you pause the campaign, you will get that money refunded that it didn't spend. And once you see all green check marks and you're ready to go, you can click Save Draft or Publish Campaign. I don't have a payment entered, so I'm just going to simply click Save Draft. Are you sure? Yes. And then, of course, whenever you do publish, this budget, mine was $11, is for this ad only. Again, unlike Facebook. Let me go to a few of the questions here. Yeah, interests like for sale by owner, expired listings, those would be good ones to check out as interests. Currently, all my campaigns that I have done in Command and sent to my Facebook business page say that they are unavailable for boosting. I was having the problem before I even began using Command and just posting manually on the page. I haven't been able to find out why or what's causing this to happen. Would you happen to know if I will have the same problem with this process? And do you know of a resolution? So I personally have not created an ad through Facebook, outside of Command. So I'm not sure on the rules and regs and policies on boosting ad through Facebook. I have seen it a bit on my page, but I'm not interested in spending money because I don't have a real estate business myself. So I do not know specific details. Email us, and maybe a member of my team does know. I do not think you would have that problem when publishing a campaign through Command, though. Because none of that process here had anything to do with boosting it. It just simply creates and publish. If I kept it at $2 per day, would it just run the ad more often per day? Yeah, it'll expand the reach. So it'll show it to more people. The more money you spend, the further your ad goes. If it's $1 per day, why would you set a budget to pay more? For that exact reason. The more money you spend, the farther it goes. Is there a difference between boosting, paying for the ad through Facebook app versus through Command? Yes, as I mentioned at the very, very beginning of class, having that first, the Keller Williams name behind your post will make it more visible. But because Keller Williams and Facebook have that partnership for connecting it like this, it is more cost effective. It allows you to reach further, and it gives you a better price on your campaign. Sherry, send us an email and we can help you troubleshoot the Facebook ad section with that red error. Our phone number is here. The only place that it tells you the number of people you're reaching is in that interest pop-up box. It tells you the estimated audience, which that number is global. And then the last part of this class, I'll be showing the dashboard again under the paid ads tab. That's where you can see different metrics there as well. So stay tuned, Emilio. Farther it goes means like the more people will see it. So we clicked Save Draft, and yes, we are sure. And that took us back to the paid ads page. So you'll see all of my different ads that I've created here in different classes. So you'll see the different types here. Here's what it looks like with more than one channel. Under this status column is where you'll see if your ad has failed, if you did publish it. Hover over that failed tag to see the reasoning. Sometimes Command automatically adds real estate as the category, but sometimes it doesn't. You can see that when you hover over it. If the ad does fail, the funds will be released. You know, it may just be due to the text on the image ratio as well. So there's several different reasons. Feel free to reach out to us if your ad does fail and you're not sure of the reason, and we can help you out with that. You know, and just some basics on this page, you can search for your ads using the search box. You can tab between the different types of ads here in the middle. You know, you can filter by your goals, filter by your channels. You can see some metrics up here at the top, like how many you've published in the last 7 days, 30 days, how many impressions you've made for those different categories, how many leads you've collected. And this link will take you to those leads. When in doubt, you can always toggle over to the contacts tab or applet, and then how much you've spent total. And then all of these columns, you can also sort by. So if you click this arrow, you can then sort by the duration. So the shorter ones will pop up top and the longer ones will pop down to the bottom. You know, all of these, I'll explain in just a second, how much you spent, goal, etc. So the 3 dots on the right is how you can pause and then edit or duplicate even. I can only edit because it's still in draft status. If I had published, I could pause and then duplicate and then edit, or you can archive. And then last but not least, okay, see all these fancy acronyms because you need more acronyms in your life? You can always find this little I in a circle everywhere throughout Command. Generally, you can hover over them, but this one you click and it brings up the definitions to all of the fancy dancy words that you'll see related to paid ads and campaigns. So if you have any questions or you forget what all of these mean, you can click the little I in a circle to refresh your memory. So CPM stands for cost per milli, or cost for 1,000 impressions. This measures the total amount spent on your ad divided by the number of impressions and then multiplied by 1,000. CPC stands for cost per link click. It's the total amount spent divided by the number of link clicks. So how many people clicked your link? And last but not least, CPLC or cost per lead captured, simply total amount spent divided by the number of leads captured. And here is our website again, scottleroymarketing.com, email, phone. If I didn't answer your question or you think of any other questions later, feel free to reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to help. As always, thank you for joining and hope you have a great day.